Hello, everyone. I feel really honored and privileged to have been invited to be one of the guest speakers among so many other amazing uh, experts that are, of course, going to be a part of the ABCAS workshop. I particularly like the theme swipe, type, speak, storytelling in digital communication. I find this topic very, very exciting, something to get you thinking already. Before we deep dive into the conversation, I want to first of all thank the team members of the ABCAS Association. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for the lecturers of the department as well. And thank you everyone that is seated here listening to me at this moment. For me, this is not just about showing up as a guest speaker, you know. This is all the more exciting for me because it is an opportunity that I'm hoping will help someone get clarity as they go forward in their career. You all know that the courses that we are studying in the universities these days, in the Nigerian universities, are somewhat relevant. Let me not completely say they are not relevant. There are a lot of courses that are relevant. However, if you are not upskilling, you're not going to fit into the technology driven, ever evolving job or labor market. And whatever it is that you decide to do, whether you decide to get a job, you decide to volunteer, or you decide to start out your own thing, I am trusting that this conversation will get you thinking, will get you equipped with some information that you need to make that difference in your career journey. So let me not bore you with all of the, opening conversation and opening monologue. Let's get right into it. I'll be sharing my screen right about now. Storytelling has taken a new deep dive. Today, it is no longer about, the storytelling that you hear from your grandma or your grandpa or your parents while you were growing up. And of course, if you didn't get that, you probably, read some books, watched some, cartoons, or you watched movies. Every time you hear storytelling, there is something that it does to an individual. Whether you're a child, young adult, or older person, storytelling grabs attention. It sustains attention. It gets everyone hooked if it is done right. And so these days, we have gone beyond just storytelling in books or a moonlight tale or maybe a cartoon series. We have moved to the swipe. A baby can swipe now. We have moved to typing on our digital devices, whether it's your computer or your Android or your iPhone or whatever. So it is a combination of all of these three. I would like to narrow down into what I call storytelling in digital communication. Storytelling in digital communication. When you talk about digital communication, you are basically talking about your Android phone. We all have phones, right? You are talking about your computer. Everything, in fact, your TV is right here. Your radio is right here. Your newspaper is right here. Your movies is right here. Your market, anything you want to buy, your shop. If you want to shop for clothes, shop for shoes, research, even for your research, even for your project, is right here. So the world has basically gone digital on all of us. And it will be doing ourselves a disservice if we are not taking full advantage of what the digital world has to offer. Digital communication, as it were. And you are all students of communication. So you have got to think beyond the communication in PR, the communication in maybe a TV, radio, the communication maybe in an organization, just being the regular thing. It has moved from just being a very stereotyped pathway to something global for every one of us to see. Now, let's take a deep dive into our conversation. Data shows that 170 million jobs will be created in this decade, according to World Economic Forum Future Jobs Report for 2025. And many of these jobs are tied to the ever-evolving tech-driven, world that we have found ourselves. And one interesting thing that I found in recent times, even as I research and do, kind of an add on to myself as I take my students in storytelling, whether in our audio drama classes or storytelling boot camps or whatever, is that there's just a massive opportunity of storytelling as a skill for anyone. Storytelling has become the in thing, the job requirement in across all platforms. And I'm not kidding you. According to data as well, when I did some job search, I typed storytelling jobs and the search results brought some of these out. On Upwork remote work, you have over 500 jobs that require storytelling. On LinkedIn, you have 200 jobs that requires storytelling as a skill. And on Indeed platform, you have 400 plus jobs. You find out that in content creation, storytelling is going on. You find out that companies, organizations are very mindful of their storytelling, how they tell their stories on the digital platforms. Do you see? And so every organization, business is out there in the digital space, leveraging on technology to tell their stories. It is no longer just advertising on your TV or radio or in the print. It is no longer about just handing out flyers to talk about your business or whatever it is you are doing. Maybe you have a show, you have an activity. It's no longer just about handing out flyers. In fact, flyers has gone on to become e-flyers. You see what I mean? E-flyers. Nobody is really printing seriously these days. We now have e-books. All right? We have movies made available to us now on YouTube. It's no longer your disc. We used to have disc. Then it was a VHS, it was Betamax. I hope some of you know some of these things. It is now all moving stories, files, moving your stories through movable, shareable files. So storytelling has gone beyond the stereotypes that we all know. Everyone is out there sharing their stories in various formats in the digital space. Now, leaders of big corporate bodies are no longer hiding behind the boardroom conversations and forming Oga. Yeah. If you want your business to be visible to a global audience, not just a global audience, even to the people in your niche, maybe in your local environment, the national environment, and the global environment, the digital space, digital communication has given us all the opportunity to be visible. It has made it, more accessible. Anybody, anywhere in the world can access your stories or your communication materials once it is on a digital platform. Anybody can access it. It is efficient, it is accessible, it is affordable. You don't have to spend a lot beyond your data, right? To be visible out there. But of course, you may have to subscribe to some apps to be able to do certain things. And then we are now in the AI digital age where we are using AI to tell stories. So if people like Tony Elumelu, the Dangotes of this world, the Bill Gates of this world, the who are the sports people, that we all know of this world. Even the politicians, the leaders, everybody is out there telling their stories. I'm going to show you in a bit why everyone is out there. No one is hiding. If you want to be visible, you must tell your story in the digital space. Now, why do businesses, organizations, notable people, billionaires, people in leadership positions, even your school, you have a digital space, you have a social media space, you have a platform where anyone that wants to enroll in Bowen University, searches for and then gets all the information. And you find out that these days registration has gone onto your portal. It's no longer in our days we are queuing up. We queue up, we get there early in the morning, and then we queue up. These days, you can do all of your registration, your course registration, everything online. So the digital space, digital communication is not something that you can afford to ignore. So why do corporate organizations, why do leaders, why do they get out there, to tell their stories by sharing something on their platforms, on their personal social media handles, or on their business page handles? One, to connect with customers, clients, or their followers. The market is on the digital space. The marketplace is no longer just, in your shop. People are selling clothes and they sell more online than they sell in their shops, because people now, you can order online, you can order food, you can order anything online. They do it also to provide a feedback mechanism, an opportunity to, it is now an age of interactive communication, where you speak and people give feedback, and you even create content out of the feedback that your audience or your followers or your clients, share with you. It is an opportunity to expand the reach to global audience, as I mentioned earlier. It is a medium that enables you to remain relevant in the market. If people can't find you, if you are not telling your stories in the digital space, then you are likely going to fizzle out and lose the market, lose your visibility, lose your voice. Before we get down to, actually how do we tell this story, I'd like to ask you some questions. So the question now is, if they are out there telling their own stories, what about you? What is holding you back? Now, some more questions. 3 very important questions as you have thought about what might be holding you back. What is holding you back? Is it because you are shy? Is it because you feel you don't have what to say? Is it because you feel you don't want anybody in your business? What is really holding you back from coming out to share your stories on the digital space? Now, let's look at 3 important questions to consider as we think about telling our stories through digital communication. So the first question is, do you even have a social media platform? Which of the platforms are you on? I know a lot of young people, the Gen Zs, and even the older people now, everyone is there, the grandmas and everyone. TikTok is one platform that people find easy to be on. What other platforms do you know about? You have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I don't know if Snapchat is still the thing these days. You have Threads, you have LinkedIn, and so many other apps, out there. There's just so many and new ones coming out all of the time. I'd like to ask you, what stories are you putting out there on the digital spaces? What footprints are you putting out there on your digital platforms? And what digital platforms are you on, like I asked? Everything you post on the digital space is a story. Whether it's a photo, whether it's a short comment, whether it's a quote, whether it's a long story form, whether it's a graphics, whether it's a video. These days, we all find it easy to do our videos. They are content, stories that are your footprints. Do not make the mistake to think that the comments that you went to make on somebody else's platform will not be seen. Today, type your name on Google and see what it brings up. Whatever that thing brings up, that is your footprint on the social media. And I want you to know that the stories you tell on social media are your resume. They are forming, they're a part of your resume. There's nobody that will do anything with you now that will not check you out on your social media handles. In fact, they will tell you, put your social media handles and all the names that you appear on social media handles. So you want to do a scholarship, you apply for a scholarship, a fellowship, you want to apply for a job, you want to do a business. People are looking at your social media handles. So you are putting your footprint out there. Your stories, whatever you post out there, is your story. You do not have the time to convince people to say, oh, this is not how I am, I was just playing. Whatever you put out there is your resume and your CV. All right? So you need to pay attention to whatever it is you are putting out there, because anything you put out there is a story. Yes, absolutely is a story. Now, what should be that personal digital storytelling hacks? How do we do it? How do you navigate the digital space to be able to communicate and tell your stories in ways that properly represents you, in ways that gets you visible, in ways that brings opportunity to you? I tell you, things you post online can actually bring opportunity to you. Yeah. Sometimes somebody has, by mistakenly, remember the story of the water guy, the guy that was selling, I think he was selling water, in a bus stop, and somebody videoed him, and then they said, oh, the way he was advertising that particular water brand. The next thing, the company, when they saw that video online, that was how this man's life changed. So what you put out there, the stories you are telling out there by your content, can absolutely bring in opportunity for you, can absolutely open doors for you, can absolutely help you sell your personal brand, your career brand, your business brand. I know some of us are doing business just because you are students. Some people are already doing businesses. Some people have already acquired skills. Maybe you are good in graphics, you are good in video creation, you are good in podcasts, you are good in content creation, you are good in even writing. Some students have gone on to, even actually write a book and published it. What is the hack to tell your story in the digital space, to effectively communicate your story in the digital space? Tell your own story. Not sharing what you do, not giving visibility to what you do, is not being humble. Some people say, I don't want people to see me. I don't want people to say that maybe I'm proud. I don't want people to get into my business. I don't want people to say that I'm showing myself. Tell your story, because you are responsible for the story you put out there about you, your product, and what you can do. Tell your story. Do not be shy. Don't feel that you don't want anybody to be in your business. There are different things you can do to tell your story. Some people don't like to show up, in videos, so they do a lot of writing. Some people, they just use voiceover. Some people use photos. Whatever it is you are comfortable with, just ensure that you are telling your story. What kind of story can you tell? You determine how you want to put out your own story out there. What are the formats? You go on a conference, talk about it. You do a training in school, or you learn something in your course, talk about it. Just maybe a short sentence, a short video. Don't just come and do get ready with me. I mean, there can be fun, storytelling online. I mean, that absolutely, people don't like too serious things. But however, people also take note of serious things. So determine the story you want to put out there, but absolutely put your story out there. It is a massive opportunity to build your CV and resume, your personal brand, career, or business brand. Market yourself. Don't be shy. Find what works for you. People say package and fake it. No, be real, be authentic. That's one of the rules in telling your story in the digital space. Be real and authentic, because sooner or later, people will come to find out that you are just faking it. And that's where dragging comes in. Even though I absolutely don't support dragging, All right. Now, ways to tell your own story. Have an account or page on at least one social media platform. And I must tell you, if you're a career person, you might want to be on, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very important. Yeah, because that's a professional platform. Have a LinkedIn account, Instagram account, or whatever accounts else, or whatever else you want, maybe TikTok or whatever. But have a platform that you are telling your story. Some of us have platforms where, for a long while now, you are not showing. They show your page. The last time you posted is 6 months, a year ago. No, really. When you want to grab an opportunity, and they say share your social media handle, and all they can see there is that the last post you posted a year ago. So that means they do not have a good picture of you. And one other hack I really want to give you is that you are an MC, a master of ceremony, or you are an expert maybe in writing, or you are a radio or TV presenter, or whatever it is you do. And all you post, all the stories you tell about yourself is dancing, is comedy. And there is no trace of that expertise on your feed, on your platform. So when you apply for, say, you want to be an MC for a show, or an MC gig or show, and they go to check you out on your social media platform, and there is no trace of you ever having been a host or being an MC, that automatically says that you do not have the proof of expertise, the proof of concept. So you need to put out there what exactly you know to do. Now, forms of storytelling in the digital space. Visual storytelling, you have infographics, you have videos, photos, memes, reels, illustrations, animation, charts. There's just a lot of formats that you can tell your stories in on the digital space. So you have the audio stories, you have text-based stories. So if you're not comfortable with doing videos, you have text-based stories. You can write it. You have messaging, you have visuals, you have photo story. They say a photo is worth more than 10,000 words. Sometimes all you want to say can be captured in a single photo. So for example, you have a woman in the market who is carrying a bag of pure water on her head. She's selling, she's sweating, she has a baby strapped to her back, and then the water pours on the floor and she's crying. You don't need to say too many words. That picture in itself tells you that this is a woman whose life is hard. She has a baby to fend for, and now the her means of livelihood is shattered on the floor. Maybe that is all she will make for the day, rather than just telling that story in so many words. So photos are powerful ways of telling your story. And AI has not come to take our jobs. It has come to make our life better. You can do an audio stories like we do in our audio drama course at our academic, EAT Academy. We have audio story based, lessons. And then sometimes our students, have created images to support their story narration, audio story narrations. And the stories come out very beautiful. And then you want to do audio drama production, and then you have AI helping you to record, edit, and all of that. AI helping you to do animation. I mean, you don't want the people to see your face. You can absolutely do animations. You can create flyers. You can create podcasts. So do you see there are multifaceted formats that you can tell your stories? And one thing you should absolutely adopt in forms of your storytelling on the digital space is multimedia storytelling narratives. So these days, people merge the different formats. So you can merge your story. Your story can come in a voice narration with a video and with caption text. All right. Also, do not just base your stories on one platform. If you're comfortable with just one platform, again, it is intense. Coming out to churn out content regularly can be very intense and time demanding, time consuming. So you can create a particular content like I do a lot of times, and I share across my social media platforms. But of course, the lesson again is there are different forms. For Twitter, you have just short posts. However, if you pay, you can post long text based, you can post video. But again, you can post one content that you create across various platforms so that you can expand your reach in all of the different platforms. Moving along now. Now, something you should absolutely watch out for in your storytelling or digital communication is I call it anyhowness or careless posts by you. I cannot emphasize enough. Recently, we hear of the story of one of the founders, the co-founder of the Paystack, app. Look just how posts that he had done several years ago came haunting him. Those posts, messed up his many years, invested time, efforts into his career, such that the organization, the board, had to, let him go, put him on suspension. Look at what those posts, whether he was joking or not, is irrelevant. So you need to be very careful with content that you post out there. You are going to be accountable, held responsible. You need to be responsible for whatever it is you are posting out there. It's better to just read and waka pass. Waka pass. You don't have to comment on everything. Some of us, we are young, you are dragging people that are older than you. You are dragging people that are billionaires, that are making it big. You are there dragging them. Imagine after dragging somebody, you ended up applying for an opportunity, or you ended up being on a panel where this person you are going to drag is on the panel. Now that is even far-fetched. Sometimes, like I told you, not even sometimes, all of the time, they will check you out. So some people have lost opportunities because when they check them out online, when they check their footprints online, they discover that they are the ones abusing people. They are the ones insulting people. They are the ones dragging people. And so the organization say, oh, we don't want this person to be the face of our company or our organization. We cannot trust this person to protect our brand. This person will be a mess. We mess up our brand. Haven't you heard of, of people that are supposed to be brand ambassadors and something happens and immediately the brands withdraw, the contracts. They withdraw them from such brand ambassador, role, because in digital space, digital storytelling is that powerful. So please watch out, be careful, because you are building your CV, your footprint, your resume. And you don't want to get to the peak of your career or the peak of your business or whatever it is, and then one single, or some things that you posted years before now messes up your opportunity. So please watch out. Now, tools and apps for digital storytelling. Lots of tools. These are just a few that I'm going to be mentioning. Your Android, that's your phone, your smartphone, is a tool. What are you doing with this phone? Are you just using it to be laughing? You are laughing at every comedy that is out there. You are laughing at those people are cashing away. You are buying data to laugh on other people's posts, on other people's story. Are you maximizing, making use of this tool effectively to at least tell your own story, showcase what you can do, what you know how to do, your passion, so that opportunities, even if you are not selling anything, can find you. And if you are selling something, make use of it. So beyond just chatting away and gisting, use your Android or smartphone or laptop to tell your story. There is Canva as well. There are AI apps. So in Canva, there is just a lot. I use Canva. I use the paid one is not for a year. It's not even much. If you know what this presentation you are saying now, I created it in Canva. So there are paid content that I use it. So I just pay for a year. It's just about 23,000 or thereabouts. Just 23,000. You don't want to know all the things I've done with it. I do a bit of video there. I do some of my flyers there. Even though I have people that do flyers for me, I have my graphics people that sometimes do it for me, and I pay them. But I've done a lot, and I'm beginning to see that Canva keeps upgrading. So even if you cannot afford a paid version of it, there is a free version of it, and there is a lot you can do with it. So you can use Canva to create various formats of your stories. Like we talked about graphics, we talked about videos, we talked about pictures. You can even create images. So if you are not even savvy in graphics, infographics or graphics, you can just say, oh, if you are good in prompt engineering, you type the correct word, type it. There is AI embedded in the cover. You say, oh, I want to create so XYZ image for XYZ, and it will do it for you. I do a lot of posts, and some of my posts are aided and supported by content that I created in Canva. So AI apps, they are bound out there. CapCut, you have it on your phone, you have it on your laptop. You could do a quick video, you edit, you do your caption, and your content, boom, your story is out there. You can also learn audio editing, editing tools. I learned, my background is in the media, and I learned audio editing. Later, I think I started learning video editing like 2024 or so, end of 2024, and I'm doing a lot with it. I'm going to edit this video before I share it with your team to play it for you. So you can use all of these tools. You don't have to know all of them, but it's good to know a bit of here and there that will help you in your storytelling in the digital space. There's just so much free tools out there. It doesn't have to be with money, so much. Take advantage of them and leverage on them. And so, my parting shots: be intentional, be deliberate, get out there and tell your own story in formats you are comfortable with. Take advantage. Start to build your resume and CV before you get out of school now by the kinds of things that you post. I see a lot of young people doing so much amazing things. Some people get to become UN ambassador just because of content that they have been posting. Some people get invited to present, on big platforms. Some people get paid volunteering jobs. And some people build their businesses. I mean, if you are just not there, you are not there. You can't afford not to. Remember, if the billionaires, the politicians, the leadership, and everybody is out there telling their story, you cannot afford not to tell your own story. Thank you so much for listening, for your rapt attention. I hope you have been able to take something away that will enhance, equip you, and prepare you for that career that you hope to pursue. Whether you choose to work or you build your own personal or business brand. I see you at the top, and I know that beyond the sky is your limits.